We have two more speakers, folks, and then we're going to have Madison Rising is going to be closing us out. This next speaker is another patriot warrior. I've had the pleasure of standing beside this man on multiple occasions down here at our nation's capital. The first time I met this patriot was during the government shutdown. A patriot who not only served his country, but stood up for his country and for the other men and women who served this country and sacrificed for this country. Together we moved barricades at the World War II Memorial, spent hours escorting our veterans to their memorials, because they are their memorials. They paid for those memorials with their blood, and some of them made the ultimate sacrifice and paid with their very lives so we could have the freedoms that we enjoy here in America today. So it is with great honor that I'd like to announce Manny Vega, former Marine, and speaking on behalf of Uncle Sam's Misguided Children.
Semper Fi, Marines. Who's a Marine out here? Hoorah. Service members, veterans, thank you for my freedom. We're all in debt. I'm very honored, Belinda, for inviting me to talk here today. I'd be lying to you if I told you I wasn't nervous. First off, I love my country. I know you love your country. You're out here. There should be millions of people from here all the way to the steps of Capitol Hill, but they are not here. And I'll tell you why. I tell people we're going to be in DC on such and such date. And you know what they do? What's the response they give? We're going to be there in spirit. We'll be there in spirit with, well, you know what? If we had millions of Americans right here in the mall, you've seen pictures of the Vietnam War protests where they filled up the entire mall. Okay? And what are we doing? A couple patriots out here. And that's why a lot of people don't show up. Because they know they call for 1 million, a couple hundred will show up. But you know what? That doesn't bring me down. I tell people, a couple of months ago, the first days of Operation American Spring, I was a member and a proud member of Operation American Spring. And we have some of the leadership here in this crowd right now. I like to quote Shakespeare's Henry V. And it's not the most likely line that you're probably expecting. But Henry V, the king, listens to one of his cousins, and they're fearing battle with the French at the Battle of Agincourt. And his cousin's weary of the future, of what's about to come. And Henry V tells his cousin, "What's he that wishes so, my cousin Westmoreland? Now, my fair cousin, if we are marked to die, we are enough to do our country loss. And if to live, the fewer men hath greater share of honor. God's will, I pray thee, wish not one man more." Listen, be proud that you are here. I don't know what happened to everybody else. They left, they had to go, take their bikes. I would have stayed here to the last speaker. Right. Folks, I love my country so much. One of the earliest memories of my country. This is KSAT 12 News. This has been a broadcast of KSAT 12 News. Join us again tomorrow at 6 o'clock in the morning, and we'll have a great day again, you know. And then you know what happened? You watch that TV screen, and you see that F-16 on the tarmac, and he's taxiing, you know, ready to fire up those afterburners and take off. And you'd see that F-16 taxiing, getting on the runway, ready to take off. And it starts. As soon as that plane took off, you hear it. Dun, 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 dun. And you see America. You see that F-16 flying over Mount Rushmore. You see that F-16 flying over the Golden Gate Bridge. You see that F-16 flying over the Washington Monument, the White House, Capitol Hill. And that gave me a sense of pride. You see the old footage taken at cemeteries days after the Battle of Iwo Jima. That soldier, that Marine walking next to the graves of his fellow men that perished in that battle. Why don't we have that in this country anymore? Why are we permitting that to happen to our children? I grew up, that's why I love America. That's one of the earliest memories that instilled patriotism within me. I miss that. I wish we could have that at 10 o'clock. I know we have infomercials tonight, but I wish we could have that at 10 o'clock at night, sign off, you know, and at 6 o'clock in the morning. We don't recite our Pledge of Allegiance anymore. We allow our children to sit down while the Star Spangled Banner is being played. I saw a lot of people out here. Madison Rice is playing the Star Spangled Banner, and yet people didn't remove their covers. People didn't put their hand over their heart. That's a Star Spangled Banner. Still the same words. I'll tell you something. On February 23rd, 1945, upon seeing our Star Spangled Banner being raised over Mount Suribachi, Iwo Jima, Secretary of the Navy James Forrestal, he said, the raising of that flag on Suribachi means another 500 years for the Marine Corps. Well, let me tell you, the Marine Corps is an organization that defends the sovereignty of my nation, the United States of America. I will hold true to that declaration right there. My country will be my great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren's country. I will defend my country to the death. I'd be damned if I am 30 years old and I'm cursing the politicians in that Capitol Hill. My son's not going to be 30 years old gearing up, buying weapons, buying their armored vest. Who'd have thought that we'd live in a country where the American citizens are arming up to fight a tyrannical government, because that is what it is. Who'd have thought? How many people here have aligned themselves with militias or are already prepping to go to war with the federal government? To go to war. Who should go to war? No American citizen should go to war. I'll tell you something, it's changed the relationship between the people and those bastards over there that are supposed to represent us, and they are not doing it. The lowest popularity, you know, the Congress is not popular with the American people. Okay, that's why we need you folks out there. We need waitresses, we need truck drivers, we need bikers, we need nurses, we need mechanics. We need you people to get in there. Okay? If you do that and you succeed, more people will follow in your footsteps. Get out there, do something. Folks, I served in Iraq. Today is September 11th. When I enlisted in the Marine Corps, I didn't think I was going to go to Iraq. Now we can all stand up here and talk and argue about our involvement in Iraq. Forget it. We all know who ISIS is. Let me tell you something. When September 11th happened, I stayed glued to that television screen like many of us did. I didn't sleep for 3 days just watching the television. I was angry, my blood was boiling. Those images that are still in my mind, folks, September 11th will never leave my mind. It's something that's always up there. It's every day something makes me remember September 11th. Those people who broke windows up on the 106th floor, 108th floor, and they're waving. They just want some air, and those people who just want a couple moments of throwing themselves to their deaths, that stays in my mind. I wasn't there in Washington, D.C. I wasn't there in New York City. but I watched it live on television, and they replayed it over and over and over and over again. That day changed my life, because from that day I decided I'm going to join the United States Marine Corps. And for 2 months, my mother was like, "Oh no, you ain't." She had had enough. I had turned 17, and we went to the recruiting station, and I enlisted. I served my country. I could not live with myself if I had not served my country. And I tell people, ever seen that when General Patton or George C. Scott portraying General Patton is out there in front of the Third Army, and he goes, the big American flags behind him, and he says, 30 years from now, when you're in your living room and your fireplace is on and your grandson sits right there on your lap, you know, asks you, "Grandpa, what did you do in the Great World War II?" You won't have to say, "I shoveled shit in Louisiana." Well, look, that's me right there. I'm going to tell my son, "Son, I served my country." I'm going to try to instill in my son to serve at least 40 years. Serve your country. And I'm serving my country right now. I've done so many things in the past months, and I want more Americans out here. Let's be loud and get louder, but it's not happening. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? We all can't be in spirit. Look, I got the luxury of living 57 miles south of Washington, D.C. I live in Fredericksburg, Virginia. And I come up here anytime there's a protest. If you don't know who I am, a couple weeks ago, I went to Lafayette Square, and I announced it on social media. And there was a pro-Hamas, pro-terrorist, pro-Gaza, pro-Palestinian protest in front of the White House. And I went there to counter-protest. I got myself my Old Glory on my right hand, and I got the Israeli flag on the left hand. And I went and stood in the sea of Palestinian flags. I'm a very tolerant individual. I didn't think going there was going to be instigating. You know why? Because our First Amendment right guarantees me, all right, to peacefully assemble, to stand on that soapbox. I want to live the Norman Rockwell life. I want to, you know that famous photo of the 4 freedoms, and the freedom of speech, that guy is standing up straight without any fear, and he's going to speak his mind. That's what I want to, look, I want to inspire more and more people to do the same thing I do. I want to become insignificant. I don't want to be the only guy in Lafayette Square getting spit on, getting punched, getting kicked by these pro-terrorist thugs. It is my right to be there equally as theirs. Right. But terrorists in front of our White House, a reporter asked me, if you had one question for the President of the United States, Barack Obama, what would it be? I tell him, you have anything to say? It happened in front of your current residence, in front of the White House. A Marine, the same people who are willing to guard you, a veteran just got beat up by Hamas. I didn't get beat up. Okay, I didn't. Folks, I'm going to say this. Let me say this real quick. I served in Iraq. I don't have much time, but I served in Iraq. I was willing to give my life over there. All this crap that's going on in my country right now, I am more than willing to give my life here at home. Okay? Folks, crunch time's coming soon. You get ready, because I don't care if the next one's a Republican, I will be even louder. Okay? You don't give up once the new administration comes in. Okay? God bless America, folks. Yes. Amen.